Draw Fun page, and oh my goodness, I have been gone for so long. I'm so sorry. It's been like, what, 4 weeks? I've just really been busy with my second channel and with school because school just started a little while ago, and I've just been really busy and haven't found the right time to film again. But I hope you guys will stick around even if I'm not going to be posting as much as I used to. But today we're just going to be doing some cute little doodles, and I did these doodles in my math notebook today in school just to pass the time, and I thought they were really cute, so I'm going to show you how I did them. They're just little fall doodles. There's some pumpkins and a cat and some apples. So I'm going to show you how I did those. I'm just going to use a pencil, and then I'm going to use this the eraser of this pencil. And I'm not going to be inking it, I'm just going to be coloring it straight away, and you'll see how I do that. I'm using these Crayola colored pencils. They're very good. So I'm going to start with the pumpkin, and so I did a little row of different shaped pumpkins in my math notebook, and then I drew a cat next to the pumpkin on the far left. So I'm going to draw a few different types of pumpkins. The first one, I'm going to do a kind of regular pumpkin that's just like a kind of circle shape. And I'm just going to start with a round shape for all of them. Then the next one, I'm going to do super tall and thin. And I understand that most of these aren't really realistic pumpkin shapes, but it makes it look really cute and cartoony, and I really like it, so I'm just going to leave it like this. And the next one I'm going to do kind of flat and ovally. And then the last one I'm going to do kind of in the middle of these two. So a little bit tall, but a little bit regular. Then the last one is going to have a cat hugging it. So this is what I did in my math notebook, just on the top panel of a composition book. So I'm going to have the cat kind of putting its head on the pumpkin, and it's really adorable. And I'm going to make this a black cat because it's for Halloween, but you can do whatever colors. Obviously you don't have to follow the same colors that I use. So I think I'm going to change this a little bit because the cat's body is a little bit too long for my taste. So I'm going to make the pumpkin a little bit less tall, I think, and I'm going to move the cat's head down. So yeah, if you really like my videos, you might want to check out my other channel. It's Launch the Lunch, and I do lunch videos. And just an update, I'm going to be posting my lunch videos on Saturday instead of every day from now on, it's because it's just really tiring to have to post every day for my lunch videos, and then with this channel also, it's just a lot of work. So I'm going to film each lunch, and then I am going to post them on Saturday as one complete video. So I just added the cat's ears, and then I'm going to do the little details on the pumpkins. So oops. I'm going to make a little divot on the top right here, and then I'm going to make a littler divot on the bottom, just a very little one. Then for this one, it's kind of an interesting shape, but I quite like it. So I'm doing one hump a little bit higher than the bottom hump. So this one, I'm going to do this. And then this one is kind of going to be just a regular one, so I'm going to do it like this. Then I'm going to add the different kinds of stems. Lots of people used to mistake my pumpkins for apples. They thought they were apples, and this does actually kind of look like an apple, but once I add the orange and the little divots, it won't look like an apple anymore. So I'm going to kind of do a few different stems for each of them. So I'm going to add the cat's eyes, and so this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to erase all of this, and you're probably thinking, what, but you worked so hard on it. Why would you want to erase it? And I'm going to tell you why. So I'm going to erase it lightly, and erasers don't usually take off like all of the pencil work, like they leave little remnants. So I'm going to trace over that with the colored pencils, and the colored pencils is going to become the kind of outline because I'm not going to be inking it. So let me just go turn on the light so that there is better brightness in here, and then I'm going to get started with the coloring. There we go. I don't know if you can see a difference on camera, but it is lighter in here. So I am going to use the eraser of this pencil to lightly erase the picture that I just made. And I don't know if you'll be able to see the remnants on camera. I think you can right there. So yes, so you'll see what I will do for the coloring. Almost done. And when I first started my channel, I would use index cards, and then when I kind of updated my channel a little bit and started doing more complex drawings, I used full pieces of paper, and now I'm using an index card again, and that's because I'm just doing little doodles, and I don't want a huge piece of paper. I don't want to waste a bunch of room, in case you were wondering about that. So I'm going to use these Crayola colored pencils, as I said in the beginning of the video. I'm going to start with yellow orange, which is a kind of light orange with a little yellow in it. And I'm going to start with the pumpkin on the far right, and I am going to just kind of outline it with pressing a little bit on the pencil. So yes, I'm just pressing a little bit, and I'm going to give it a little dark outline around the inner edges. Then the middle is going to be filled in with kind of less pressure, so it's going to be a little bit lighter, and I'm going to kind of fade it out like ombre. So it should look somewhat like that, but of course you can use your own style. So now I'm going to press very hard and make these little indents in the pumpkin, the stereotypical pumpkin indents. But don't press too hard because you don't want to break the paper or break the pencil tip. So now I am going to do the tall pumpkin the same exact way, just do a darker outline around the edges, and then fill in the middle very lightly, then do the pumpkin indents. I'm going to do the exact same thing with the rest, but remember not to fill in the complete pumpkin for the one with the cat, so that we can do the cat. So I'm almost done. I just need to fill in the last one now. And then we are going to do the stems when I'm done with the orange. So I'm going to kind of trace the outline of the cat like that. It kind of looks like the pumpkin has a big bite taken out of it, but that is not what's happening. So just going to do that same kind of shading. Fill it in lightly. And then I am going to do those indents. Okay, so now I'm going to do the stems, and then I'm going to do the cat last. So for the stems, you can use brown or green, but I'm going to kind of use a dark and dull green called jade green, and it is a kind of olive color, and I think that's a good mixture of brown and green. So I am going to use that. That's what I used in my math notebook. So I'm going to kind of do it a little bit darker at the bottom where the stem meets the pumpkin, and then I'm going to kind of fade to a lighter, to less pressure. And then the last stem. Okay, so now I am going to do the cat, and I'm going to use black, as I said, because of Halloween, and I want to use black for the black cat, but you can use any color you want. And I am just going to trace the outline as if you were inking it, but with a colored pencil. And then I am going to do the tail. So I'm gonna, black is a little bit hard because it's the darkest color, and it's hard to do like dark black and light black. But I'm doing my best for the fading ombre look, and don't forget to leave the eyes blank because we are going to be filling those in later. And since black is so dark, I'm not going to be able to do the nose and mouth because that would be in black and it's just not going to show up. So you can use, if you use another color for the cat, you might be able to do the eyes and mouth, but I think it looks cute without the eyes and mouth, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So I just finished it, and now I'm going to color in the eyes. Let me just touch it up a little bit first, like that. So for the eyes, I'm going to do yellow to kind of make it look, I don't want to say like evil, but like kind of mysterious and cool looking. So I'm going to color the eyes in with yellow because, again, if I did black eyes, then you wouldn't be able to see it on top of the black. So that is the finished sketch of the cat with pumpkins, and now I'm going to show you the apples, and then I think I'm going to end the video. I don't want it to be too long because then it's more complicated to edit and post. So for the apples, I'm going to do the same technique as I did for the pumpkins and cat, but I'm going to do apples instead. So I'm going to do a red apple and a green apple, and I'm just going to start with some little circles like this, right next to each other. And now I'm going to put the little indent things, the little dents on the top and the bottom, just like I did with the pumpkins. Okay, so now I'm going to add the stem, and I'm not going to do any leaves because it just makes it a little complicated, but you can of course do leaves if you want to. And I'm going to kind of tone down the circle and make it more of an oval shape, more of an apple kind of shape. Of course, apples come in all shapes and sizes. Well, no square apples or triangle apples, but you know what I mean. Some are more ovally, some are more circly. So I'm done with that, and now I am going to lightly erase it as I did with the other doodles. And then I am going to use red and green. So I'm going to start with the red apple, and I am just going to be using a regular red. So this is the regular red, and it looks really, really dark in person as much as it does on camera. But it comes out like a regular red. You might think that this one's a regular red, but this one is actually red-orange, and it comes out a little bit more orangey. But I want a solid red, so I'm going to use this one. So like I did with the pumpkins, I am going to make the outline a little bit darker, and then the inside is going to be a little bit lighter, and I'm going to do some little circle highlights up in the top right corner because apples are very glistening, and pumpkins are glistening too, I guess, but I just tend to do this with apples. I'm not sure why. So I'm just going to leave those highlights blank and maybe shade them just a little bit with super light with the red pencil. Okay, so there is the red apple colored, and I'm going to do the stems after I finish coloring the main part of the apples. So for the green apple, I'm not going to be using a regular green. I'm going to be using yellow green because it is lighter and more of a kind of Granny Smith color, which is what I'm going for. The regular green is a little bit darker and wouldn't be very good for an apple, I feel. So I am going to use the yellow green for the green apple. And I'm going to do the same thing with the highlights and the outline, same exact thing, and I'm going to lightly shade the highlights again. So now I am going to color the stems with brown, and when the apple is first, not very ripe yet, when it's like first on the tree, the stem I believe is green, but then when you pick it and it's off the tree for a little while, I think it turns brown or something like that. I'm not completely sure. But I'm going to do it brown also because if I do it green, the green apple will look like one solid color, and that's not what I'm going for. So I'm going to use the regular brown. It's a mid-tone brown. It's good for apple stems, so that's what I'm going to do. Just like this. And we are done. I'm going to put some shading underneath each object because I tend to do that and I think it makes it look more 3D. But you can completely skip this step if that's not the look you're going for. Okay, and we are done with our little fall doodles. If you would like to suggest something, you can leave it in the comments for the next video. I cannot guarantee that I'm going to be posting very soon, especially because, like I said in the beginning of the video, I've been very busy and I can't find the right time to post. But I'll do my best, so it would be very helpful if you could come up with ideas for my videos, because sometimes it's challenging to come up with ideas on what to draw. Leave them in the comments if you have anything, and that is it for Fall Doodles. See you next time!